Welcome to an all-new Lay It Omni. Allow me to lay it on you. You know, you hate to see it. GameStop is my childhood, guys, okay? You guys have no idea how many midnight releases. I've sat at GameStop awkwardly standing next to other gamers who'd want to try to strike up a conversation with me, and I'd be like, yeah, man. And then suddenly I'm stuck in an endless one-sided story waiting for GameStop to call my ticket number so I can get my game, go home, and play it until 7 AM. GameStop used to be the king. However, recently, GameStop has fallen from its former glory and the ugly corporate world behind the scenes have shown its head. And that's what we're talking about today. I'll also say this, I have actually personally worked at GameStop before. I worked there for about 8 to 10 months. So today's news does not surprise me in the least bit. Hell, after I tell you what went down recently, I'll tell you what happened with me, because both stories are crazy. You'll get a nice double whammy today. Anyway, recently, the company in the most boomer of fashions created a contest where employees can submit TikTok dance videos in the hopes of winning prizes. Nothing wrong with that, okay? You know, boosting employee morale through really dumb antics, surprisingly enough, is a great way to ease tension and help people to relax. Along with this request was the message: be creative, rope in your team, and have fun with it. Don't worry, you can't look as bad as the event team does. And I'm sorry that I have to show you this dance, but I've seen it, so you have to see it. It's called the hashtag Red Wine Challenge. I have no idea who or why or when this dance exists, but here it is. It's literally just the Macarena with 2 other moves added to it. It's literally a copy-paste dance. I rate this dance a 2 out of 10. Anyway, stay tuned because randomly somewhere in this video, I will be performing the Red Wine Challenge. Don't stop and try to skip around and look for it, okay? I assure you that it will come when you least expect it. So here's the problem, guys. The rewards for submitting this dance and having the best dance involved getting like an Echo 8, an Echo Auto, a $100 Visa gift card, and 10 additional labor hours to use during Black Friday week. So when I first heard this, I was like, what the hell is 10 additional labor hours? Like, huh? To me, that sounds like my reward is having to work 10 extra hours. Like, bro, I don't get it. That sounds like a penalty. Like, I mean, I know when you work hourly, then you take all the hours you need, but are you telling me that GameStop employees are fiending that hard for hourly work that you have to create a contest to give it out? I'm confused. Then I remembered what it was like when I worked there and recall that every store has a budgeted listing, meaning you create and guess as to how many hours your employees are going to work in a given week. This is what the store manager does. Then they give that forecast to corporate and they get it signed off. Going over these hours means you didn't guess correctly and you're losing the company money. Going under those hours means you worked everyone like a slave and managed to keep your job. This is basically how public accounting jobs work as well. Anyway, here's the problem, guys. Most of these stores lowball the hours on purpose when they're doing their budgeting. So when employees run out of paid hours, they put them on unpaid work and suddenly you're working for free for Lord knows how long. This is known as wage theft and it is incredibly common in all aspects of the workforce. You guys said you wanted another lesson in money and tips and financial advice and stuff. Okay, here's a quick one for you right now. You're probably thinking, well, Omni, once the hours run out, why don't people just, like leave or go home, Why would anyone work for free? And the answer to that is that you're technically allowed to, but in nearly all of these businesses is frowned upon. In common practice, people do what's called eating hours, which means say you work 11 hours in a day, but you only record 8 hours. That's 3 hours that you work unpaid. But you do this so that you can keep your job and keep everybody happy. Usually managers will say something like, hey, that's just how it is. We're all trying to keep the store afloat and we can't afford to overcharge our hours. I'm eating hours too, or some bullshit. But all of it is done so that stores can hit their margins and stay below budget, and it's a shady craft and it happens in many places. Does that make sense? Because it's really important if you're young or in college and you're thinking about joining the workforce to understand this concept, because I guarantee you there is a 100% chance that you will be put in this situation. Now, this one-off oopsie whoopsie poopsie from GameStop wouldn't really be that big of a deal on its own, okay? However, GameStop has been slowly showing its ass over the past years, but mainly during the past 2 to 3 as the pandemic hit, because GameStop is failing and closing stores all over the place. The need for physical copies of games is dwindling as digital distributions become more and more commonplace. It's very clear that the need for GameStop will disappear because people will just go to major retailers like Target or Best Buy instead, who aren't dependent on just video games to stay afloat. Except And okay, I'm gonna warn you guys, I'm about to go into my nerd phase, okay? You don't want to hear about this, but I'll tell you just in case and I'll explain it to you like you're 5. GameStop will most likely be phased out entirely due to COVID, plus the lack of you having to go to the store to buy a game because you can't right now. Video games are not essential business, so during lockdowns, they do not operate, and there's probably a high chance that we might go into another lockdown phase. This way of buying and selling video games was basically core to their business, but now it is all gone and it probably won't continue to go. And even if it does come back, it'll continue to go down. However, in October, GameStop and Microsoft went into a partnership. GameStop gets to stay in business and profit off the boom of gaming sales occurring this month thanks to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series systems. In return, Microsoft gets access to all of GameStop's internal data on gamers and can push out more of their products through their stores since Microsoft recently closed all of their stores. So even though it seems like GameStop is failing right now, GameStop's stock prices are at an all-time high, but a lot of people believe that their stock price is overvalued. But yeah, okay, that's it. Enough money talk, okay? That's basically what happened recently in a nutshell. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode of Late Omni. You've just been laid. Moral of the story, GameStop is trying its best not to become the next Blockbuster, and they're probably working their employees like slaves in order to accomplish this. As a reward for watching this video up until the end, let me tell you guys about my personal GameStop story. Originally, I wanted to work for GameStop just like any other teenager who wanted to work at GameStop. You know, I loved video games. So I can surround myself with video games and I can get discounts? Like, bro, it's literally every kid's dream. You know, you think to yourself, man, look at all these idiots working jobs at places that they don't love, but me, I love video games, which means I'll love this job. Wrong, that's not how it works. Working at GameStop taught me that quick, fast, and in a hurry. First of all, my manager was garbage doo-doo butter and kept threatening everybody's job by saying things like, hey, if you don't finish what you have to do before your time, then hey, I can't promise you'll stay here. While also giving people like no time to finish said task. Then there's this thing where you had to do, like if you were on the register, you know, and you were selling games, you have to ask employees if they want to sign up for the GameStop credit card or whatever it is that they're shilling at the time. You've probably went to a GameStop and heard people like, hey, do you want to buy something? Like it's mandatory. We have to ask you. I know you don't want to buy it. You don't care. You probably get tired of hearing it, but we are forced to ask you these questions. So I started getting the hang of it, and I was able to strategically be like, you know, hey, by the way, do you want to apply for this card? You know, it's okay if you don't, but I mean, if you want to, I mean, there's some perks, you know, blah, 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 kind of finesse my way into one of those sales. And I got pretty good at it. Apparently my boss overheard me once and basically said that I need to do it better. Like I got to sell it better, which didn't make sense because I was selling it. Like I was reaching my quota. So I spent nearly 2 to 3 weeks readjusting how I try to tell customers about the GameStop cards and magazines using this guy's guidance, which was all trash. However, he blamed it on me, which again doesn't make sense because I hit my quota of getting these people to give their cards, but he was basically just a bitch and he saw that I was doing well, but he wanted me to do even better so that he can outperform, but he gave crappy advice and nobody liked him. Eventually he got fired, or I don't know, maybe he quit, but we were all happy. They brought in a new manager. This manager was just as bad as our previous manager, and apparently all of these managers are like this because of who they report to, who I found out was even worse. Now, I'm not saying that all GameStops are like this, okay? If you work at any job and you have a manager who's garbage, you'll probably go through the exact same thing. But I have a lot of friends, a lot of gamer friends who shared exact similar stories as me when they went to GameStop, thinking it was the dream job only to find out it was donkey nuts. But whatever, okay? I got something on my resume, I got a few discounted games on my table, and I moved on. Anyway, that's all I had. Let me know what you guys think about this whole GameStop ordeal in the comments below, okay? I feel mad because I gave GameStop so many of my classic games and systems for like 2 cents. Should have kept it, bro. You know, I thought I was using my money wisely when I was younger, but nah. Keep your games, bro, okay? Don't trade it. If anything, sell it on eBay because GameStop is basically swindling everybody for those trade-in prices. I'm out. Do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We're on day 25. We're still going strong. Let's keep it up. Drink your water, stay hydrated. I love you guys. Have a good day.